Good afternoon, class. I am Shane Kalanag-Ipis, and today we will be talking about Vygotsky's Sociocultural theory and Lave's situated learning theory. But before that, let me present to you first our goal for today's discussion. Now, at the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify and explain the key ideas of Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, the MKO, ZPD, and scaffolding, and Live's situated learning theory. Apply the concepts of MKO, ZPD, scaffolding, and situated learning by participating in group and real-life based activities that involve guided practice and collaboration. Show appreciation for learning with others by demonstrating cooperation, respect, and active participation in group and community based learning tasks. Vygotsky believed that social interaction language are the essential tools used to pass on cultural knowledge. So in here is that Vygotsky is saying that people learn most effectively through talking and interacting with others. When children or learners communicate with teachers, parents, classmates, or even experts, they receive guidance and information. Through these conversations and an interaction, they gradually understand and learn new skills. Now let's proceed to the more knowledgeable other or MKO. It is anyone who has more knowledge or skill than the learner about a specific task. So this could be your teacher, parent, peer, or older siblings. This means that they has more knowledge rather than us. They support learning through explanations, questioning, modeling, and they also give feedback. These more knowledgeable others help students with different abilities understand and learn new skills. And also in inclusive education, learning happens when a child interacts with these more knowledgeable others. Now question, who usually helps you when you find a lesson difficult? Yes, very good. The teacher helps you or your older siblings. Now let's proceed to the next one, the zone of proximal development or ZPD. It is the learner's sweet spot for learning. It refers to the task that the learner cannot complete independently but successfully accomplish with guidance from an MKO. So again, what is MKO? Yes, very good. The more knowledgeable other. The sweet spot means it is just right. It is not too easy, not too hard, but achievable with guidance. So the zone of proximal development, it is the space in which what a learner can do alone and what a learner can do with help. In this zone, learners cannot complete a task by themselves yet, but they can succeed with support by a more knowledgeable other. Now class, what happens when a task is too easy or too hard? Yes, Harail? You will get bored. Yes, very good. That is why the zone of proximal development is important because it helps us teachers give learners tasks that are just right so you can learn successfully. So for example, a student is learning how to solve a math problem. So the student cannot solve the problem. So by the help of the MKO or the teacher will explain the steps and guides the students. So as a result, the student will successfully solve the problem. Now, any question about zone of proximal development? None? So let's proceed to the next one. The scaffolding. Scaffolding is the temporary support provided by the MKO, such as hints, guiding questions, prompts, demonstrations, and encouragements. As learners gain confidence and skill, the support is gradually reduce until they can perform the task independently. The MKO gives guiding questions, step by step instructions, demonstrations, and encouragement. So, scaffolding helps learners with different needs to succeed, and the support is slowly removed as they improve. Scaffolding is the temporary support provided by the MKO, such as hints, guiding questions, prompts, demonstrations, and encouragements. As learners gain confidence and skill, the support is gradually reduced until they can perform the task independently. So, in an inclusive classroom, students have different learning needs and abilities. Scaffolding means giving temporary support to help students learn and succeed. So, the one who support this is the MKO. The MKO gives guiding questions, step by step instructions, demonstrations, and encouragement. So, scaffolding helps learners with different needs to succeed, and the support is slowly removed as they improve. Any questions or clarifications? None? Now that we understand Vygotsky's sociocultural theory, let's proceed to Jean Lave's situated learning theory. Situated learning theory argues that learning occurs best when it takes place in the context in which it is applies. So students should act in apprentice capacity within communities of practice where learning opportunities arise situationally. Situated learning theory means that people learn best when they learn inside real situations, not only from books or lectures. Instead of learning in a classroom only, students should learn by doing real tasks in real environments. So in here is that students start as beginners and learn by observing and practicing under the guidance of experts. The first one is, it is based on sociocultural theory. Situated learning theory embraces a sociocultural view of learning. It sees knowledge as being defined and agreed upon by a society or community. So it believes that knowledge is not only created by individuals, but is shared, shaped, and accepted by a community or society. So what is considered true or important? Knowledge depends on the rules and values of the community where learning happens. So just like in the classroom, students learn best through social interaction where knowledge is built and shared together and agreed upon by the group. The second one is learning should take place in communities of practice. Talking and listening to others can help you learn what information is important to society and how society views certain topics. Learning should happen in communities of practice, which are groups where people share the same activity or interest. When students talk and listen to others in these groups, they learn what information is important to society and how society understands or values certain topics. In inclusive education, this means students with different abilities learn together and share knowledge. By participating in group activities, everyone learns from each other and understands how society views different ideas. Now let's proceed to the third one. Learners start out as legitimate peripheral participants. Situated learning theory embraces a social cultural view of learning. It sees knowledge as being defined and agreed upon by a society or community. So Lave and Winger argue that learning should take place through an apprenticeship model. The apprenticeship are what Lave and Winger called legitimate peripheral participant. This term shows that when you start out, you're in the outside of the community of practice. So when learners first begin, they are new members of the community and they start at the edge or outside of the group. They are called legitimate peripheral participants because legitimate means they are allowed to be part of the group, and peripheral means they are on the outside of beginner level. So they learn by observing and doing small tasks first. As they gain skills and experience, they gradually move toward the center of the community and become full members. So in an inclusive classroom, learners start as beginners or new members of the learning group. Learners slowly become full members of the community of practice. Now let's proceed to the fourth one. Learners slowly become full members of the community of practice. Each community of practice has its own rules or structures for progressing from peripheral to full participation. They may begin with simple tasks and observe others first, and this is called legitimate peripheral participation because they are allowed to join the group starting at the edge or beginner level, gradually learning by doing and observing. So as they gain skills, they become more active and confident members of the class. For example, a student with learning difficulties joins a group project. At first, they help with small tasks like sorting materials. Later, they take on more responsibilities as they gain confidence and skills. Now, any questions or clarifications? Very good! You truly understand our lesson today. Thank you for participating, class, and see you next meeting.